What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about a topic that's been coming up quite a bit lately because we've got a lot of new games coming out in the upcoming months. And this is something that was asked a lot while I was live streaming the Vanguard beta, and this was, is this game worth a pre-order? Should I pre-order this game? And while I was generally having a great time with the Vanguard beta, my answer to this was, and still is, no. You should not pre-order this or really any game outside of maybe a few exceptions. And I'm going to get into exactly why in today's quick video. But first up, I do want to make the statement, of course, it is your money and you can feel free to spend it however you want. I'm not going to police how you spend your money. That's just ridiculous. But I did want to talk about exactly why I don't pre-order games, at least not until the last minute, and why you should maybe reconsider as well if you're somebody that habitually pre-orders games, even if it's a game that you absolutely know that you're going to be buying and playing. Now, the first point I wanted to make here is the industry has changed a lot, and it's not like how it used to be when pre-orders actually made sense. I still fondly remember the days early on lining up at midnight with my pre-order secured in order to get my guaranteed copy of the newest Call of Duty game as soon as possible. In those days, if you didn't pre-order a really popular game, there's a chance you wouldn't be getting it on release day, or you'd be scrambling going from store to store trying to find yourself a copy of it. And these days, that just doesn't happen anymore. Most of the industry has shifted toward digital sales. I believe at this point, digital sales have now completely overtaken any sort of physical sales, and there's just no longer a scarcity. They're not going to run out of digital copies, and they no longer really run out of physical copies either, it seems, because there just isn't a massive demand for those physical copies. So that's the first big point. There's no scarcity of the game. But the second point is, why are you committing to a purchase months in advance for something that you probably haven't really seen much of, or at least you haven't seen the full product, you don't know what you're going to be getting exactly? Why commit to that early on when you can wait and see what things are going to end up being like? Like at this point with Battlefield 2042, for instance, I'm not just going to talk about Call of Duty. With Battlefield, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited for the game, and of course, I'm going to end up buying it, but I haven't pre-ordered it yet, and I have no plans to. Especially because we really haven't seen much from the devs. We haven't seen just like proper raw gameplay coming from an official source on a current build of the game. All we've got are like a couple trailers and then another new trailer that just came out, which is apparently from an older build of the game that only showed like a total of 20 to 30 seconds of gameplay, which isn't nearly enough to properly judge the product. So why commit to a purchase on that when they haven't even really made a solid effort, it seems, to market their product and show their product off and show what you're getting for your money? When you pre-order games, this signals to the developers that you're perfectly happy taking whatever they're going to throw at you. You're basically showing them that they don't really need to demonstrate their value and earn your money from you. They just need to slap a title on it and say this is coming out, show you a cool, heavily curated trailer. And just like that, they've got your pre-order locked in and confirmed, and they've already effectively made a sale without even showing you all of the value that they're providing to you with their product that they just sold to you. Now, I do realize that when you pre-order games, it's not like you pay the full price right up front for the game. Usually that money will come out of your account at launch. But those pre-order numbers are still used as signals for the developers. And personally, I'm against giving off positive signals for something when they haven't properly demonstrated the value and demonstrated what their product is going to be. In my opinion, you should really make them work for it. Make them earn your money. Don't give them signals that you'll just buy whatever they throw at you. Cyberpunk 2077 was a great example of this. That game was so highly anticipated and hyped up so heavily. I'm sure their pre-order numbers were through the roof, and it turned out to be a complete flop, at least on console, maybe not quite as much on PC, but it still flopped relative to the hype and the build-up for it. So that's just another great example of why pre-ordering generally isn't good. Having said that though, there are of course certain exceptions. The one big exception is if you're buying it digitally and you want to make sure you have the game preloaded the moment it launches, the moment those servers go live, absolutely, at that point, go for it. Pre-ordering is totally fine at that point. That's often what I will do. I'll pre-order within the week before launch or so for many games that I know I'm going to be getting, just so I can make sure that I've got it all downloaded and installed and ready to go, and I'm ready to just hop in immediately. And then when it comes to other exceptions, if there is some sort of like a special edition with limited quantities, so we're back to that scarcity argument, of course, if you're a big fan of the franchise or whatever game it is that you're buying, and you really want that special collector's edition, by all means, pre-order it and get that value for your money for pre-ordering. And I think this is what it really comes down to if you're thinking about pre-ordering the game. Are you actually getting sufficient value for getting that pre-order locked in early on? This can apply to all of the various pre-order bonuses that games often offer. Like right now, if you were to pre-order Vanguard, you can get Arthur Kingsley as an operator that you can use in Warzone as well as Cold War, or there's several weapon blueprints you can get as well for pre-ordering. Now, you'll still get these exact same items if you pre-order at a later date, like the week before the game launches. You'll still get these items down the road, you just won't have access to them right now. And therefore, especially for me, this means absolutely nothing. There's no value there for me. I don't care what my operator looks like. I'm not going to use that operator. I'm not going to use these blueprints. So that's not enough for me to be pre-ordering the game, but for some people, it will be. However, I think the big bonuses that most people will pre-order for is some form of early access or some form of beta access, like a closed beta access for pre-orders only. That's another situation where, for a lot of people, that's a lot of value. There's a lot of value in being able to play that game early and get your hands on it early. You can use that as a demo, or maybe you just want to get your hands on it early so you can give the best feedback possible to try to help the developers make a few adjustments and improvements here or there. Once again, I wouldn't blame anybody for pre-ordering a game just to be able to get into an early access beta, because there's absolutely value in that. And with that, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on pre-ordering video games these days. When it comes to Vanguard, especially now that the beta is over, if you're asking me if you should pre-order the game, I really don't think so. I don't think there's any value at this point in securing a pre-order for the game. I would say wait until a few days before the game launches if you really want to get it. Pre-order it at that point. Or if you're still on the fence about buying the game in the first place, I think it's much better to wait a week after launch at least. Wait for the reviews to come out. Wait to see what kind of improvements they've made between the beta and launch. Like, a big thing that I'm actually quite nervous about with Vanguard at this point is the audio. The audio was terrible in the beta build of the game. Sledgehammer has confirmed they're going to be completely reworking it for launch, but we don't know what that rework is going to look like, or I guess sound like. And who knows, it might sound terrible. They might have buffed footsteps through the roof, and I might hate that. We really won't know until the game actually launches. So yeah, if you're on the fence about buying the game, there is very little value in pre-ordering at this point. Same thing goes with Battlefield 2042. I'm holding off on my pre-order, especially with them, because they haven't shown much value to us at this point, and their marketing has kind of been a mess this year. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to trash on the game or anything, because I'm still very excited to check it out and play it. But when it comes to the devs or the publisher actually earning our money or our locked-in pre-order at this point, I don't think they've done enough to do that. So yeah, I'm going to be holding off, and I'd recommend doing the same, but at the end of the day, it's your money, spend it how you'd like. And with that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about pre-ordering video games this day and age? Do you agree with me? Do you generally think this is a bad thing to be pre-ordering games, especially way in advance when they haven't shown off a lot of value? Or do you think it just doesn't really matter, and if you think you're going to like a game, then you're just going to pre-order it anyway, regardless of how early it is in their marketing? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.